That's amazing. It's amazing. Finally, we're getting somewhere with these Democrats. They never want to tell you things until they have to, which is amazing. And boy, I wish I'd known years ago that my living room was a public domain. I wish one of you silent whores would have said something. I just started charging admission. This shit's so goddamn good, I can't even charge a price tag for it. Ridiculously funny. To anyone that matters to, anyway. Freedom of speech, right for expression. COVID was designed to strip you of your ability to prosper. make $1. COVID was also designed to restrict transportation, put everybody under a travel limitation. And don't worry about Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't worry about Joe Biden these days. Notice he stepped down on National Ice Cream Day. National Ice Cream Day. And this whole thing is absolutely hysterical. You got ear muppets on the right side and ball and gaggers on the left. The only person that was talking for the left was Biden, and now he stepped out personally, permanently for ice cream. And that happened without notice. This is absolutely hysterical. It's just so goddamn funny. The lefties got cock and balls in their mouth. They can't talk. Joe Biden was their figurehead and their voice of logic and reason. And now he's out to lunch permanently searching for chocolate chip ice cream. Right? Because his favorite ice cream was chocolate chip crunch. Right? You remember that bit? Well, anyhow, how you doing, y'all? I'm Matthew, and this is the public domain. And there's two domains, only two, public and private. Most amazing to realize these things. Apparently, your living room is a part of the public domain with or without your consent or approval. Amazing, right? Because no one asked me if I wanted my living room to be a part of the public domain. Well, here we are. Welcome to my living room. Part of the goddamn public domain, courtesy of the Democrats. They let me in on that one yesterday. Absolutely appalling. When did my living room become part to the public domain? Any takers? Any smart people? And through this line of thinking, there's only public and private domains. And if you can't say it in public, then you shouldn't say it in private either. That's one of the things we came to learn to realize here. They can't say it to my face. They shouldn't be saying it to be behind my back. Right? So public domain and private got two domains. Right? Isn't it amazing to realize that your living room is a part of the public domain without your consent? No consent? I can't ever remember giving consent for anything. I started vocalizing non consent. I didn't consent to anything. I've said no to everything. I don't do this because I'm a yes man. I do this because I like saying no to the man. So I'm trying to establish a consensus of facts with factual people. And they're very hard to find because most people are as timid as bunnies and they run at the first sight of conflict. The first gunshot, they're already gone. Woo! You can't really establish relationships with rabid people. They're wild. You never know what they're going to do. And I didn't tell them to do anything, so they're very defiant. They don't listen. They're very rebellious. They never listen to her for. Why would they? I'm the last person they would ever listen to about a damn thing. And I actually enjoy my position now. I really do. Because you see, I found power by accident. I found power. You see? I have armor. I have the dictionary. I have time on my side. I have facts on my side. I have information on my side. Holy shit. Public opinions, private opinions. Public domain, private domain. It's a domain game. And this is the lion from Maine. I think you're in trouble now, right? If I recognize that the internet is a public domain and my living room is a public domain, what's that mean? What does it mean? So let's do some homework, right? And go to Google or see what Google says about it. Google definition of domain. Domain. They're not even after the first one. Alright. Right? This shit will blow your goddamn mind. You ready? An area of territory owned or controlled by a ruler. Right? There you go. That's a domain. Right? Domain. Right? Are you with me there? Did I lose you? The domains of the Plantagenets. The southwestern French domains of the Plantagenets, an area of territory owned or controlled by a ruler or government. Huh? Yes? No? Dictionary definition, no domain. Okay. Public. What does public mean? Public domain. Let's Google that. Right? Public domain, A work is generally considered to be within the public domain if it is ineligible for copyright protection or its copyright is expired. Public domain works can serve as the foundation for new creative works and can be quoted extensively. So, what does that mean, Erica? What that's the definition of public domain. Remember, our living room is public domain, so you got to think about this in a whole new way, right? Definition of public domain: a work or area is generally considered to be a work, a works, art, math, science, language, blah blah. A work is generally considered to be within the public domain if it is ineligible for copyright protection or its copyright has expired. So if you can't afford to maintain your copyright protection, then your works wind up in the public domain because your copyright has expired. Public domain works can serve as the foundation for new creative works and can be quoted extensively. So, my living room is in the public domain. And that happened without my consent. And your silence is a consensus on the point. You're not arguing with me. There's nothing for you to argue with. I'm you, you stupid fucktard. You stupid fucktards run around thinking you're smarter than me. Oh, that's funny shit. It really is. So, for my cult followers and fans and friends, we're a cult movement and we operate the public domain. We dominate it. We rule it. The only way they work is in private because they're workers of inequity. They don't work for me, they work against me. Isn't that amazing? I, Matthew Dana Burr, dominate the public opinion and the public domain. From my living room, said the Democratic Party. It's goddamn amazing. And the Sheriff's Department, too. It's amazing what they tell me. And look at all the pieces I'm over here putting together for you. My gosh, if my living room is public domain, then your living room is public domain. There's no difference. You stupid. Hello, operator. How come there's only one person listening to this shit? Are you AI? The fuck? You know how aggravating it is to be me? You can't get a freaking word out of these people. They're as lively as a bunch of fucking coconuts. And they're all like, why is he so weird? Why does he sound so different? And I'm over here like, I got 5 fucking children. I ain't got time for your shit. This doesn't pay the bills. This is me kicking your ass with math, geometry, and the facts. The facts, please. Nothing but facts. Leave your feelings and concerns in your own damn living rooms. Do not be to my living room. I don't harass on the job site. Don't harass me on a job site. If I see you washing windows on the side of the road for a few bucks that you can eat, I'm not going to sit there and walk up on you and tell you windows. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, so don't tell me how to do mine. I hate that shit. And these people have rescheduled my court hearing 4 times. 4! And a newborn is at stake here, and nobody says any question of my son longer than his parents have, without either parent's consent. I'd like a timely response, please. Today. Today. You know? But they don't respect the public. The public doesn't have a voice. The parties are bought and paid for controlled opposition. Both parties work against you, not for you. Holy shit, it's amazing how you can't see it. Ear muppets and cock and ballers. Huh? Ball and gaggers. Is that better? That's the Democrats, ball and gaggers. They're the muzzle-wearing fools. Right? Or we call them face diapers. It's a good thing I don't listen to anybody, you know? And the Trumpeteers, well, they got the earmuffs now. It's amazing. Right? So both sides are easily identifiable. It's amazing. The lefties are wearing muzzles, and the righties are wearing ear muffets. Holy shit. Right? The Republicans will only listen to Trump. Trump is their God. Trump is their voice of reason. Blah, 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 blah. Can't hear you. You ain't getting through to them. And the Democrats can't think for themselves, and their voice of reason has stepped out for ice cream and is permanently on a trip right now. This shit's goddamn epic from a high school dropout who doesn't know any better. Warning, fools are not liable for your outbursts or your emotional implosions. I'm not responsible for your silence either. That's a choice, and you made it. I didn't make it for you. You made it for yourself. And you like watching homos naked. Don't lie about it. Why are they always lying about shit, you know? Never understand. So, this is very interesting because it gives us a new scope. right? If there's a public domain and a private one, that's two. Is there a third domain that we don't know about? Because you see, this is very divisive. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting when something's divisive and you have to pick a side. You don't have a choice. So it's very exciting. So there's a public domain and a private one. Is there a third one that I don't know about? And that's divisive. Public domain, private domain, speak, don't speak. Divisive. Very divisive. Mask up, don't mask up, backs up, don't backs up. Very divisive. You're going to have to make a choice. They made it so you can't be neutral. You're going to wind up getting swallowed by the mob. So who's running the country right now, right? Because Joe Biden is mentally incapacitated, right? And Kamala Harris was appointed to office, was not actually nominated. No one voted for that transgender. It looks like Obama in drag. Or maybe I lost my mind. Either way, I'm okay. Wild shit, man. I'll do the job for free, just for the fuck of it. And you know I'll do it right, because I'll do it for free. Cartier, I just do it for fucking cost of living. And damn it, don't cost much to run my ass around anywhere. I'll do it for free. That'll mean something. Don't mean nothing when Trump does it for free. The fuck? Or maybe I get a percentage of the savings after I step out of office, Proof in the pudding and all that. Pay me after I leave. Look, I really did save your money. See? Told ya. So anyway, back to that piece of information that we were discussing earlier. There's only two domains. And apparently my living room is the public domain. I was at first shocked by this, but now I revel in it. So wow, looks like I own the public domain from my living room. Isn't that amazing? They never have a response in public. It's like they're afraid or something. So they keep their opinions to themselves and discuss my ass in private. But they won't say anything in public. And I find that to be hysterically funny. Quite a paradox. See how funny this stuff is? Public domain. We're under this assumption that our rights are being protected by the people who swear to protect our rights. They take these oaths of office to protect rights. And whose rights are they protecting? What are they protecting? They're protecting nothing but their own bank accounts. They don't protect nothing. They don't protect the land. They don't protect the water. They don't protect the children. They don't protect the future. They don't pay the debts. They don't keep their promises. They don't think there's any repercussions for anything they do. There's no consequences for their actions. And your neighbors are good for silence. Whew. Silence. And they just want to say, look at Matthew and tell him to do something. That's what do you want me to do? Then they got nothing to say about it. It's amazing because they don't have a clue as to what to do. They just rather blame me for my dissidence. They only disagree because they haven't done the research yet. They haven't done their own homework. Children in the public education system are conditioned to believe they're innocent until proven guilty, or that's the assumption that these people operate under. But that's not true. That's not true at all. And the burden of evidence is not on the state, it's on the suspect. And the suspect's guilty until the suspect proves himself innocent. Fucking amazing. So, what did they actually protect? Themselves? By staying silent? Isn't that wild? In my experience, started making me realize that no one's taught the same. No one's taught history the same. No one's taught to write the same. No one's taught math the same. The division between states is deliberate, and their perspective is the basis of what? The color of the state they're living in? And they don't even know why they live in a red or a blue state. Ultimately, most people are just a product of their environment because they never leave home. So the silence is goddamn. Ultimately, it proves you have no respect for men. You don't respect the person's home. And by the way, the Democrats told me that my living room was a part of the public domain is in my living room. And I'm supposed to be happy about it. I didn't consent to that. Nobody told me before that became the law. Isn't it cute how they just keep making new laws? They tell you about that? Your living room is public domain. Hello, got 4 people in here. Your living room is public domain. Did you hear me? Can't get a yes or a fucking no out of these clowns. It's amazing. Apparently, the Democrats think my fucking goddamn living room is public domain. And there's only 2 domains, private, public. 2. That's it. There's not a third one. Did my brother die so that my fucking living room could be a part of the goddamn public domain? Public sector, private sector, public domain, private domain. It's a good thing I don't have a split personality. And it's a good thing I don't have a public and a private opinion. Otherwise, I'd be a two-faced cunt. And I'll reserve my public opinions for private because I won't actually have one in public. Set the private to the fucking public. How fucking hysterically funny is that? The professionals do not have a public opinion anymore. They only have private ones. How you feel about that? Is that accurate? Due to liability, the professionals do not have a public opinion. They'll reserve it for private and they'll get back to you tomorrow. Because they never have a response for you right now. Because they might be held liable for the words that come out of their mouth. So they don't say anything at all. And it's très bizarre. It's très bizarre how the majority prefer to stay silent and talk shit in private, but never in public. And there's only two domains now, public and private. Instead of private to the fucking public. I'm kind of on a power trip now. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you smell it? Right? There's only two domains. And it's a fight over territory. Public, private. Wow. What's going on, public? do, 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 do. Do you see why I don't worry anymore? These people have attention span 8 seconds. They're more concerned with cats and dogs than newborn babies or the future which they represent.
Problems too complex.
And it's too complicated for them to understand the grandparents are the past and they're the current and the present and the children are the future. It's too complex.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about. Or,
No, they left us out of school on purpose. They left biology out of the equation. Wrong with grammar, geometry. They left so many things out of the equation. I can't even have a discussion with most. It's amazing. It's not possible. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the public domain. It is my lion's den from Maine. I have to evolve to new information, like genetic material providers. It's gender fluid, so I don't have to sell it to you. It's gender neutral. That's what parents are, genetic material providers for their children. Isn't that amazing? My content's age restricted. Amazing, huh? Did you know that there's an interstate child trafficking network? Did you know over 800,000 children are missing every year in this country or extracted? So many children go missing every year. Just in Maine alone, 30 last year, 20 to 30 every year. Maine's a relatively small state. But these children were in CPS custody and went missing, and no one knows where they went. And then I started seeing a bigger picture. CPS was a front for adoption for homosexuals and transgenders. It's a way for homosexuals and transgenders to adopt children. Any public outcry. A 120 days ago, an Eastern Maine Medical Center physician had feelings and concerns that I was an unfit father and I was involved in prostitution and human trafficking. And typically, your accuser is accusing you of what they themselves are doing. And it's been 120 days, and the court hearing's been rescheduled 4 times. I finally going to see about the Jeopardy hearing in the morning. But it's been rescheduled 4 times. It's been over 100 days. My son is only 100 days old. Nurses said I tried to suffocate my son. First time I touched him, I abused him. And based on a 20-year-old domestic violence charge, they were establishing that I was unfit to be a father. Without evidence, without a witness by name, nothing. The only reason why they got involved in such a way was because I was anti vaccine and anti immunization and didn't want any of their drugs. And since then, they've poked and prodded my son and put drugs in my son's system without my consent or the mother's consent. Nobody had consent, no approval. So my son's being doped out of his mind without anyone's consent. Not my consent, not his mother's consent. Essentially, they took the child away from me so that they could put it in state wardship with a guardian litem, and that guardian litem could then contract the child with the state and give it a doctor. And by doing what they did, they bypassed my rights as a father and her rights as a mother. And the silence from the majority of people has been shocking. I'm amazed by what you're silent to. My son was born into this world with no alcohol and no drugs in his system. They never been in my home. They were making assumptions basis of appearance for the sake of appearance alone. This is a war between the natural and the unnatural. You corrupted my son without his mother's consent, without his father's consent, and you consent silently to everything that comes out of my mouth. I'm supposed to call you good people. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna say nothing. You ain't gonna contribute nothing. You don't do anything. Run the opposite direction. That's what you're gonna do best. There's only two domains now: public, private. Set of private to the fucking public. Isn't that fucking amazing? We define people's worth by their speech impediments and their designer clothing labels. I'm more than just my job, and you shouldn't judge people by their clothing labels. I'm more than clothes I wear or a car I don't drive. You shouldn't judge a car by its blemishes or scars. Judge the car by how it rides. Don't get caught up in the rising along of stars. Like Hawk to a girl. I know agents of chaos are forever. They are the ones that leave the scars. Agents of chaos are forever. Stars rise and fall. Ear muppets to the right. Ball and gaggers to the left. Here I sit with the rest of you. Isn't it amazing? Cognitive dissonance for either side. Stockholm syndrome. Oh my God, the Trumpsters will only listen to the Trump. And the Democrats, they ain't talking right now. Their voice of logic and reason stepped out permanently for ice cream. So here I sit with the rest of you. If you have a response for this, congratulations. You're in the top 1%. How did you feel about the day's events the other day in regards to the live photo shoot that was staged for you? Right? It was a staged photo op and a live shoot for you. How did you enjoy that? See how amazing this is? Both parties are led by clowns. Both parties are senior citizens and geriatrics. Both parties have dirty deals in Russia and China, Ukraine. Both parties are guilty of messing around with children. How is one different from the other when they're both guilty of the same fucking shit? And remember, my living room is public domain. Public domain. There's only two domains, public, private. Two circles. Holy shit, we got it busted down to two circles. Public and private domain. Public sector, private sector. Right?
Yeah.
Two sectors. Is there a third one? How could there be a third one? See? Public, private sectors. Public, private domain.
Yeah.
So, there's a public domain and a private domain. Said a lion from Maine. Huh? Let that soak in your fucking membrane. And maybe while you're at it, you need to take a mushroom from Maine. Lion's mane. Right? Look, can you disagree with what I said? Public domain, private domain. Is there any other domain?
I think there's somewhere where something intersects, like private and public do intersect at some point.
Where does the, oh yeah, the church. They intersect. The public domain and the private domain intersect with the Vatican in the middle. Are the two secretly one because the church is ruling both? TikTok. TikTok. Four people in here. One thumb and no response. TikTok. Today. They never have an answer today. That should tell you about the future of tomorrow. They never have a response for you today. Today, Junior, today. You dot today. You dot today. Today backwards. You dot today.
What does that mean?
Sorry, you guys, right now. Today. Today. What difference? To every action, a reaction. To every invocation, a reaction and a confession. To every pupil and eyeball that was not willing to pay for attention. Teachers do not pay for your students' attention. To every word an alternative word spell exists, pay attention. To every word spell is a phonetic spell. Pay attention. That sounds the same as the one you are speaking. Pay attention. To every asshole with a degree, your degree was a reduction. And it's not my fault you refuse to pay attention. To every action, an equal or greater reaction. And the reactions to my actions are confessions about you and Mrs. Jackson. I find it funny that people are willing to pay for lies and misinformation, but when speaking accurately, there's no gratuity in this nation for accuracy of information. There's no reward for doing your own investigation. You're supposed to follow a leader of the nation. There's no public space for citizens to address grievance to the nation. My lines, there's no escaping. You're only going to spend your days grieving, avoiding the lines I wrote for the nation. Ear Muppets to the right, balding gogglers to the left. Here I am, stuck with you fucking silent clowns in the middle. Holy shit. Is this really happening? Trumpsters will only listen to Trump. And the Democrats can't talk right now. Their voice of reason is out to lunch permanently on an ice cream trip. Right? Stepped out for ice cream on National Ice Cream Day, no less. Right? Stepped out of office on National Ice Cream Day permanently. Out for ice cream. Perma trip. Fucking what? You can't make this shit. And I said it first. I said it first. Where's my trophy? Where's my fucking trophy? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here forever, right? We'll be stuck here forever. So where the fuck are we going? Nowhere. You're in hell already. Why are you worried about going there? All the Christians, drop dead and go to hell. What? How can I go somewhere that I'm currently in? The logic is gone. Fishing. So, children, stay in the public domain. Never worry about the private domain. It's the public opinion that upholds the institutions of law and the schools and the religions and blah, blah. It's the public opinion, not the private one, that upholds all of this shit. It wasn't bankers that built the farms. It wasn't bankers that laid down the railroad track. It wasn't bankers that built the fucking farms. It wasn't bankers that built the brick houses or the prisons. It wasn't the bankers or the brokers doing any of the labor. I'm amazed you fail to remember. That's the problem. You don't respect labor. I'm supposedly a stupid nigger, an unfit father, an uneducated, stupid fucktard. That's me. And if that's me, then that's you too. That's my attitude about it. I really don't care what they think. Let's boil down the facts, why don't you? There's about 180, 190 jobs in this country, and about 90 million of them are in government. It's kind of lopsided there. Shouldn't be that many. It's too much. It's a tax burden. There's no incentive working in the public sector. You're overtaxed, you're underrepresented. You don't have time for self education. Parents don't have time to raise their children. The television's doing it for you. Next to the television, I'm the best babysitter out there. You fuck out of your mind? You may not like how I do things, but let me tell you, I do them the way I do them because it's fucking effective. It gets the job done today, right now. I won right now. I win like that every day. It was already bad. Understanding positive and negative money, realizing zero is expressive to nothing but positive or negative money, whether you are in debt or not. What the fuck do I owe you? Nothing. I don't owe you for my life. I don't owe you for my experiences. I don't owe you for my craft, my speech patterns. I don't owe you a damn thing. And you're going to have to get through your head that I'm me because of my own fucking labor. Not because of school. Not because of my parents. Oh, shit. I created a floor for logic and reason. Things that were left out of school. Definitions of words, letters having meaning and purpose, past writing them on paper to write a fucking word spell and pass sentence on your neighbor. Did you know when you write a sentence, you're passing judgment? You're casting a spell. Funny how that sounds, isn't it? I'm casting a word spell right now, and hundreds of people are hearing it simultaneously. on 20 different social media floors in multiple countries. Isn't it amazing how they have very little to say to a high school dropout? Someone suffering from lack of education and lack of opportunity because none was given. But at the same time, I'm not asking for anything either. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. If I want it, I'll go get it. It's one of those things I realized most people don't ever have any initiative. And they have to be paid before they labor. They won't labor first. They're not willing to work without getting paid first, which is ironical. Because I was raised to realize labor first, then you'll get paid. And these things, I don't put a price tag on them. Wonder why that is. You think it's worthless information, knowledge? Think this just knowledge, bunk, shit, ain't worth nothing? Good. So, I'll ask you again. How did you like your live action photo shoot that was propped up and presented to you last week? Do you like how I said it? It was a staged for you live action photo shoot. Nothing about it was actually real. Didn't really happen. It was staged for you so that you would feel sorry for Trump. And now the fucking Trumpsters got those stupid patches on their ears, the earmuffs, right? It's symbolic. Trump's got their brains. The only thing they're listening to is Trump. Nothing else matters to them. It's just what Trump says and no one else. They'll only listen to Trump. Trump is their God. And I don't like Biden either. So I got to be clear there. So I find it hysterical. He stepped out to lunch, right? He stepped out to ice cream on National Ice Cream Day on a permanent brain freeze. That's hysterical, the symbology behind it, right? To actually step out of office on National Ice Cream Day, on permatrip, on a permanent brain freeze. Alzheimer's finally did him in. So what a mess in this country right now. What a mess. Remember the song Jokers to the left, Clowns to the right? Well, it's no longer jokers and clowns, it's ear muppeteers to the right of me and ball and gagglers to the left. And here I sit with whoever will listen to this shit. To every action, a reaction. To every invocation, a reaction and a confession. To every pupil, an eyeball that was not willing to pay for attention. Teachers do not pay for your students' attention. To every word, an alternative word spelled exists. Pay attention to every word spelled. There's a phonetic spell that sounds the same as the one you're speaking. Pay attention to every asshole with a degree. Your degree was a reduction. It is not my fault you refused to pay attention to every action, equal or greater reaction. And the actions to my actions are confessions about you and Mrs. Jackson. I find it funny that people are willing to pay for lies and misinformation. But when speaking accurately, there's no gratuity in this nation for accuracy of information. There's no reward for doing your own investigation. You're supposed to follow the leaders of this nation? Come on, man. There's no public space for citizens to address grievances to the nation. My lines, there's no escaping. You're only going to spend your days avoiding the lines I wrote for this nation. There's no accountability in this nation. Isn't that amazing? How was that anyway? What was it? Stupidity at work? The binary system will never resolve a trinary conflict. Show them the truth direct and they'll call you a liar. Give them more choices than two and you'll confuse them. How's that for wisdom of a king? He ain't no king, cause king, kinky king. Cash is king, correct? Yes or no? Check king. Check to you, king. Check king. Check king. Check king. When striking, strike king. Who am I attack? King. Who am I mock? King. Who am I rock? King. What am I doing? Talk king? Speak king? Think king? Mocking king? Rocking king? Talking king? Knocking king? Poking king? My mother's in the kitchen. Cook king? Bake king? I'm what doing what to your brain? Arcing it, sparking it, fracking it, cracking it, break king, wake king, shock king, math king, what? stupidity or intelligence, because you don't reward truth. Typically, you kill people for speaking truthfully. There's no trophy. It's a conspiracy of kings, the King's Command and Control Codex. Crazy talk. 15,000 words with king in them. English was derived by the church to control the serf. The King's Command and Control Codex. And if you command and control English, if you're really good with English, now what? Apparently, courtesy of leadership, because it's not my fault, right? I just found out my living room was public domain. It's not private. And I'm confused by this, astounded by it for about 2 seconds. Then I realized it's only public and private domains. Well, look what happens when I run my mouth in the public domain. Right in your face. On a dime. Blam! Right now. Blam! Look what happens. And I'm not trying to be I don't know what the word would be. I'm really trying to force a point, emphasize it. And there's no other way to get it across because they don't listen to logic, to reason. Math is sexist to racist. They're like colorblind dogs, and they're just triggered by words. And the funniest thing about truth is it's funny. They don't want to believe it, but it's funny, but it's true. People are mostly like colorblind dogs, and they react to the sights and the sounds and the word spells. You change up the word spells, or let me put it to you this way. When you are in control of the word spells that the majority are hearing, then you're in a position of power or ignorance, depending on the person speaking. What is my intention here? Did I ask you for anything? Did I sit over here saying, woe is me, and feel sorry for me? Did I say anything of this nature? Did I tell you to vote for someone? Did I tell you to run left? Did I tell you to run right? Let's be clear here. Let's act all grown up and shit. And excuse me, what is this anyway? Failure in communication? Right? And I got trophies for communicating. So I'm really scratching my head. Why are they so silent? And what can you do with silent people? And I'm not here to be mean about it. I'm here to be logical. You people sound like seagulls. And seagull is logic backwards. Did you ever notice that? A lot of people don't notice things. They don't pay attention. They're not observant to the reality. They're not watchers. They're not even good listeners. And they talk well, though. But when you challenge their opinion, you realize they're very shallow. They're very inept. They don't understand definitions of words. There's serious failures in this education system, and I'm not at fault for it. Not liable, not responsible. There's no way in hell I'm responsible or liable for your emotional implosions or your outbursts. I'm not the man to come running to if you need a tissue. Math is a conscious state of existence. It existed with or without your consent. Geometry is a byproduct of logic and consciousness, pre existing universities with or without their consent. It's amazing. And you know what else is amazing, children? Fools and kings operate with or without the public's consent. Whew! Right? Pay no attention to the fool. Never mind that guy. That guy's crazy. That guy don't know what he's talking about. And you know why they don't want to believe me? Because I ain't wearing a suit and tie. That's all it boils down to. That's all it boils down to. I'm here in Batman t-shirt. Because I'm Bats, man. I must be the Batman. Na 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 Matman. Can you hear it? Na 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 Matman. Na 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 Matman. What if Batman is Batman? Matman is a reference to Eminem Man. You know, Matman. Eminem. Eminem should melt in your mouth and not in your hands. Right? And Eminem maybe stands for methods and measures. Methods and measures. Magi's and magicians. Mages. Muses. Mathematicians. You mean people that have to use their brain? Like far out, man. Well, if you don't use your brain, then someone else is going to use your brain for you. No way. Yeah, way, man. Yeah, way. needs to be clean. It's floppy. They're not in my shoes, so they would never be me, nor they will ever know as me, and they can never feel as I feel. My experiences made me me, not my schooling or my indoctrination. And things you learn outside of school are not the things you learn inside the school. I'm not moved to vote for either party because I don't believe or buy into either party's shenanigans. It's one of my new favorite words, shenanigans. I don't want to compete with you. I hate being right. There's no trophy. There's nothing. Only the sound of silence. And the international news, the earmuffs. We got the earmuffs on. Get your lawn chairs. Get your popcorn. It's a war between the ear muppeteers and the ball gaggers. What are you going to do about it? Nothing or something? What if doing nothing is something? That could be proven as a scientific fact. What if you just stay home and stay right out of it? What if you just not participate and just stay home? Because you don't believe. Would that have some sort of meaning? I don't know. What if everyone did that? Well, that'd be collaboration. That's impossible. That's never going to happen. Tried for years. Doesn't work. And the irony in this is the only reason why I do any of this is because I broke my back. And then I was put in a situation where it was say nothing or say something. And now I'm recognizing that there's a split in society between speak and don't speak. Speak, don't speak. How many people are going to speak in the public sector? Public domain. My living room's the public domain. I invite from the public all the time. This is the result. Hello? Yeah. Who's this? Oh, hey, Brad. Yes, yes, we're both gonna be there.